Hello, I'm Susan Court, the MC of the Love Inc. Loving Our Community auction, and we're so excited to be sharing information with you today about the Faith and Finances course. You may know a little bit about this if you're familiar with Love Inc., but now you're going to learn even more about it. And joining us to talk more about it are Erica Onifer, who's a teacher and advocate, her sister Angela Landis, who's an advocate, and also Nadine Torres, who is a participant and now a proud graduate of the program, part of the 2020 class. So thank you for joining me, ladies.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Let's start at the very beginning. Erica or Angela, tell us a little bit about what is the Faith and Finance course? Why is it offered?
So Faith and Finances is a 12-week long based course based around truly learning about finances, the basic foundations of them, and how it relates to our faith and our relationship with God and with others, and even with ourselves. So the course is offered to anybody in the community who is within the Love Inc. region who would like to participate and sign up for it. There are many incentives offered throughout the 12-week course, and we typically meet together once a week for 2 hours, typically from 6 to 8 p.m. We've been meeting mainly on Wednesday evenings. We meet locally, and we typically provide a meal and childcare. So COVID has changed things up a little bit for us, as it has done for everybody. But we worked around that, and we've carried on and done some Zoom sessions and some live meets, and it's been going great.
That's great. Now talk a little bit about what you go over in the class. I mean, finance is kind of a broad subject. So what is it that you teach?
So we start at the basics, checking account, savings account, debit, credit, really just how much money you're bringing in versus how much money you're spending, what your needs are, what your wants are. Are you able to save? Are you able to cut back? Are there different areas you need to give to? And are there different ways that you can be spending your money either to bring more glory to God, to benefit your family's dynamics and your family's way of living, to help other people, and also to be able to sustain a healthy life for yourself?
That sounds like all wonderful information to have. And Angela, talk a little bit about how you've seen that work in the people that you've been an advocate for. What kind of changes has it made for people?
I think just like with helping budgeting their money better, saving their money, not spending as much, as they normally would.
I know the two of you said you really like to volunteer and give back. How has it made you both feel to work with people like Nadine to help them?
It's very rewarding to me, like I said, because I like people and whatnot, and I just feel like reaching out to these people, just meeting everybody. They all have a different story to tell, and as we all do, but it's been a blessing being able to help with this program.
Absolutely a blessing. Yes. Just a relationship we build with people. I think as much as we may give, we actually receive and get as well, which is just incredible. And every single time I've gone through the course, whether as an advocate, a teacher, or even in my original training, so I think I'm up to 5 or 6 times now, I have just gained so much knowledge and understanding in my own life. And I have every single time have made at least one change in my own life as well as it relates to finance and relationships.
Well, it sounds like it's been a real blessing in both of your lives. I'm sure it has been an even bigger blessing in Nadine's life. Nadine, talk a little bit about how this course helped you, and now you're a graduate, so you've learned a lot, I'm sure. How has it impacted you?
It's just really impacted me a lot. It's nice to know that there's things like this that's out there and that's available. I was actually very blessed to come across it, and I just think it's really helpful because I just feel like since then I've been like definitely more frugal, and it's just helped in many ways because like she said before, you get an idea of what your income is and what you're spending, and you're looking at the big picture, and they show you how different ways of that you can save, and they teach you just a lot of things. Like they give you different scenarios and they ask you questions on what you may think is the right answer. And if you're wrong, they will tell you, and you'll be surprised sometimes that, you know, what you might think would be a good decision wasn't really a good decision. Or you'll find maybe you did, you know, get the right answer, and, you know, just different ways of learning in that way. And like I said, just definitely saving. And I think one thing that like really stuck out to me, Christina has said, you know, what did you get last year for Christmas? Like, do you really remember what it was? And I think that just like really stuck out for me, because it's true. Like you know, you have this rushed feeling like, oh, you gotta do this and everything else. And like none of those things really stand out, honestly. So it's just definitely helped give you a better understanding for sure. Like if you're short in some areas, it will definitely help you understand why you're short in those areas for sure.
You've all talked about the importance of relationship. So how important is it to have that connection with an advocate or a teacher, Nadine, as you were going through the courses, to have that personal connection with someone?
For me personally, I don't really have a lot of family, and you know, like a lot of times you don't want to talk about your finances with, you know, maybe your friends and things of that nature. So I think it was just really nice to kind of have that guidance, because my parent, like my mother passed away, you know, when I was really young. Well, not really young, but when I was 22, around that young age where you're getting into adulthood, and you know, you have all these questions, you really don't have anybody to ask. So for me, it was really nice to be able to have, you know, 13 years later, but you know, it's nice to, like, you know, talk to somebody about these things. You know, there's things even you don't even learn in school, you know, and adulthood just hits you, and you have important decisions to make, and a lot of times there isn't anybody available to talk to about these things. So it was really helpful, definitely, for sure.
Angela and Erica, you both had the opportunity to work with Nadine. How does that make you feel listening to her talk about the importance of that relationship?
Makes me feel happy and just good knowing that she got a lot out of this class she took.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I think the relationship is a huge part of this class. If you're unable to relate to somebody and to connect with them on that deeper level, I don't see much success in those cases, actually, from the class. And we've really only had, I think, one of them. But over time, you know, these people become a part of your life. And it's, you know, we find ourselves texting them maybe even more than we text family or friends, because, you know, we see a great deal or we see something and we want to share it with somebody. And we've built that relationship with them and they've built it with us. And it's a two-way street. Sometimes after participants graduate from the class, they don't need much more support, honestly. Sometimes they come in they're in a phenomenal situation. And so we've kind of not hit the end of our rope. Everybody can always improve, including ourselves, which is amazing. But we've encouraged them and we've gone really far with them. And they don't need, you know, the daily check-ins or the texts or the calls as much. And Nadine, honestly, has been one of those participants, but we still keep in touch and talk to her and everything, and love her just the same. You know, some people need more check-ins and more participation. Some people need a little less. And we've just been so blessed because all of our participants have really honestly given 100%. And I feel like we have too. And in the changes we've made, we've challenged ourselves and they've challenged us as well.
So for many people watching this may be thinking, I need to get involved in this. I want to help. Tell us how people could get involved in being an advocate or an instructor with Faith and Finances, and maybe a little bit about your journey, how you came to the program.
Absolutely. So we were trained on when Doug was still in leadership, and he trained us. And so we went through training hours to become certified advocates and facilitators, which are the instructors. And Christina does a phenomenal job with facilitating, and I pitch in as needed or co-teach. And it's just been a phenomenal experience. So if anybody is interested in getting involved, please, I encourage you to reach out to me. We would love that. It's not just the participants, it's not just advocates, it's not just facilitators. There's so much that goes into this. We need certified babysitters to keep these kids safe while we can be with their parents. We need people to host. You know, we've gone through different facilities and buildings, and especially challenging right now during COVID-19. We need people to donate and meals, their time and their meals. Meals are a huge part of it. The fellowship and the fact that we can sit down and have a meal together each week, the communion and the fellowship of that is really sacred and really important. We do put a lot of focus on that. So there are so many ways to get involved. So I encourage you just to reach out if you're interested in that. We would love to have you, honestly.
Well, thank you both for your encouragement of the volunteers. And if that's not enough encouragement, Nadine, tell everybody how this has impacted your life. Explain, to motivate people to give to Love Inc. or to volunteer. What difference has it made for you in your life?
Honestly, it's given me a lot of hope, because like I said, from my standpoint, there were so many things that I didn't realize I didn't know, and I just feel so much more hopeful now, and I feel more in control. So I would definitely encourage, because it just makes you a better, citizen, really. Honestly, it just, being productive and being more mindful of what you're doing, what you're working towards, what your goals are, and it makes you feel like your goals are definitely reachable. So I love that. And I love how, even though after I did graduate, there's different things that happen in the community, and the advocates will reach out to me and like let me know different things that are going on. They could be helpful either to me or my children. And just overall just make things a lot easier, and it's nice. It's like a small community in itself, honestly. So I couldn't ask for a better blessing, honestly.
That's wonderful. And think too, all the things that you've learned that you can now pass on to your children.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much to the three of you for joining and talking about faith and finances. Just another reason to support Love Inc. And we wish you all lots of success. Continue to volunteer, continue to learn, Nadine, and maybe someday you can turn around and volunteer for Love Inc. and give back too. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.